Do you have a big laser that needs a big enclosure? Then this might be the one for you. Stick around and we're going to go over it. This enclosure is from Atomstack, and if you have the A70 Max or the Atomstack Glacier 120 watt, which is a 850 by 800 work area machine. Now, those are very big machines, and therefore this is a very big enclosure. Now, by saying that, does that mean that those are the only machines that this enclosure will work with? Absolutely not. If you have another machine that requires this size footprint, you could use this with a host of other machines as well. So let's go over the specs and what it takes to get this thing put together. All right, so some critical information that you guys may need to know is that this box enclosure here, it is pretty much rectangular in shape. So that makes it a little easier to fit in the corner of a room or up against the wall. It is 48 by 53 by 16. That's 48 wide, 53 deep, and 16 tall. It does have doors on both ends that open and close like so you can get in there. But it also has these little skylight deals here that open as well. So this gives you plenty of room to get in there and work with the machine. It does open from both ends, so you have this same setup on both sides. The only difference is you can't have this open but one side at a time because the panels do slide on top of each other. So you either have to slide it that way or this way to have this completely open. The little flip doors, it doesn't matter. You can let both of them down if you so need or whatever. So the exhaust port is on the side. It does come with a 4-inch exhaust hose outlet, as well as an adapter that they sent with it here in case you need something smaller. Me personally, depending on the machine and the type of work that you're doing, I think the more is better as far as the hose size. So I've been running a 4-inch hose with it. Now, my exhaust setup is not ideal because there's nowhere to put it near one of my fans that I already have in place. So I've had to run a really too long of a hose over to my assist fan, which is on the back side of the shop here. And I'm having the machine push the smoke that way, and then it's pulling it from that end and exiting out the back of the building. So it's quite the setup. But it's been mostly effective so far. Like I said, I've had a little bit of leakage with this thing, but not a whole lot. We'll go over that in a little bit. So some of the other things that you may need to know about is the interior dimensions. So if you're not using the Atomstack Glacier or the A70 Max, then you may need to know what the inside dimensions are. So you're looking at 45.5 on the inside. That is like the largest possible that you could get in there. I would try to stay around 45 because there are some brackets and screws and things that protrude. So I'm going to say 45 for a working size on the interior. And then from front to back, you're looking at 50.5. Same thing though. I would probably go with 50 as my working number. That gives you a little room for some of those screws and stuff like that that may be sticking out in the way when something's moving around. And also the height from the surface that it's sitting on up until the first piece of the enclosure is 13.25 inches. Now there's a bar in here that you could move, do without, or engineer something differently, but this bar is the lowest point in this enclosure. So that's why that's a little lower than your outside dimensions, is because that thing does drop down. You can see it right here, a couple of inches below the glass. So those are your interior dimensions. One more feature that it does have, like I said, these little doors are pretty handy. I do like this better than some of the bigger enclosures that I've seen because you have 360-degree view into the machine, minus a few blind spots because of the extrusions and stuff. But for the most part, you can see from anywhere in your shop. So I like that because some of the bigger machines, typically when you close those up, there's little windows in certain places that you can see in, but you can't see, you know, from everywhere. So with this one, you could glance over and see if there was a problem from pretty much anywhere in my shop. And I do think that's an advantage that this has, even over some of my DIY enclosures that I've made, is the ability to be able to see it, you know, from wherever. So one thing that you will notice too is they did include these little little ports here. These are like little plastic finger holes for the cabling and stuff to go through. And you have also a little metal plate that is kind of adhered to the front of this acrylic that holds the controller, so that you can have the controller outside of the machine and have it completely closed when you're sitting in a job. I do like that as well. Now, while we're on that, there are a couple things that I would like to add. There's going to be a little user input, in my opinion, for these once you get your cabling through there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These little guys, although they are handy for allowing air to go into the machine, and they also serve a good purpose of allowing the hoses, the cooling hoses, the electrical, all of that to be ran into the enclosure, they do leak some reflected light as you're using the machine. And I noticed this because I did some testing and I turned the lights out in the shop, as you can see, and I went around the machine and checked for light leaks. There are a few places that you can see reflected light, and there's actually a few places at specific angles that if you were at that certain angle, you could get a pretty good dose of that light. So there may be some precautions, either in the form of wear your safety glasses anyway when you're around the machine, or you may want to go through and address those light leaks yourself with like some of the full HVAC tape or something like that, something that will prevent that light from escaping the machine. Duct tape for those of you that use the stuff. But other than that, the enclosure does a really good job of stopping the light. Like I said, there's a few little cracks and a few little places where they didn't have an overlap, so you can, especially if it's not exactly sitting correctly, the doors can have a little bit of a gap, stuff like that, because they didn't put a lot of thought into, like, say, putting a ledge inside here that when you close this would have an overlapping, like completely sealed setup. There's some cracks here, which these I don't think are a big threat because these are up high, and I think the chances of an angle glancing with those is pretty slim. But there's some other places that I'll show you some video of it, that it does need a little bit of an address as far as those light leaks, in my opinion, to be 100% safe. But like I said, just wear your glasses around it and you're okay. Or, you know, if it's just you in the shop, just make sure that if you're looking that direction, use the panes, avoid those spots. But I would probably go ahead and try to cover those up, maybe put some foam tape or something in there to seal that. All right, so one of the other big things with having an enclosure that you want is the smoke handling, the exhausting of the fumes, the dust, the particulates, that kind of thing. And like I said, the machine done a really decent job of getting rid of that, even with my less than recommended hose setup that I've got running. It was doing a really good job at keeping that out of here. If I'd have had it set up appropriately with as short of a run as possible to vent it outside, or if I'd have had a air filter set up inside, that probably would have done a little bit better job. But with me running the hose 26 feet, this is definitely done a good job. I was able to run the machine inside the shop with very little spill out into my work area. Right, so while I was running the machine, I did use my very cheap Amazon meter to kind of gauge the environment, and that's where we're at right now. As you can see, this is a working shop. There's dust. You know, I've got different things going on in here, paints, stains, all the time. So obviously we're not, you know, a household environment out here, but you can see when I was doing my testing with the meter, with the machine, there were some variations. I did get a little bit of an elevation while the machine was running. Now, I don't want to blame that completely on the enclosure. The enclosure seemed to be doing a pretty good job. The problem is, like I said, my hose is not ideal, and also my table is not large enough for the machine to, the enclosure to sit on there and not hang off. And so I had to make best I could with some painter's tape. I just kind of created myself a little barrier under the front of this bottom. It hangs off about 6 or 8 inches here in the front. I just kind of closed that in with some overlapping painter's tape and did the best I could with that. But this is a CNC table, and so every few inches there's those slits for the clamps and stuff, and so that allows a little bit of air to get in. So I wasn't able to get the negative pressure inside the enclosure that I would have had I had the box sitting on a flat surface that was easily sealed. Now, one thing that I would do too, if I were setting this up permanently for me, is once I got it in place, I would try to seal it up so that I could control that a little bit better. One thing that I have found that works really well as far as sealing in exhaust cracks and kind of like crack proofing enclosures is the same stuff that they use in HVAC work. This is basically aluminum foil with sticky stuff on it that you can use to cover up those cracks and stuff like that. So if I had this and I was putting this in my workstation, I would probably get it in position where I wanted it, make me some brackets, 3D print some corner brackets, whatever, to hold this thing still, and then run a little bit of this around the bottom just to seal that part up best I could, and maybe even some of the other joints on the inside that you can't necessarily see. So those are options that you have, but I do feel like if it was on a flat surface, I don't think you'd have the issues of all that air coming into it as I did with the CNC table. And like I said, for testing, it was not worth me building a flat table big enough to hold this thing just to test it. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt on that. I feel like if I'd had it set on a flat, smooth surface, it would have done an excellent job of mitigating the smoke and containing the fumes and stuff like that. It didn't do bad as it was, but like I said, my exhaust setup, the table setup, none of those are ideal for this machine, but I didn't have the resources to accommodate the machine because of its immense size. So there you go, guys. All in all, I think it's a decent build. Like I said, it's sturdy, it's rigid. Even these panels, even though they're really large, they're sturdy. I don't see any major issues with the structural integrity of it. So it seems rugged enough for most folks' application. As far as protecting your eyes, I think it goes a long way towards it, but I do think there's a little bit of room for improvement on some of these joints where the doors open and these little holes here. But those are things that, like I said, wear your glasses as a secondary precaution if you're working in the area of it, or just take the time to, come up with ways of fixing that. The doors up here, I do wish, and Atomstack may decide to change this, I do wish they'd have put just a little bit of a thin piece of acrylic inside here that when you close this, it would close up against, and maybe have a little piece in the back. I think that would have went a long way as far as protecting your eyes a lot better with the door setup. There's not a whole lot you can do about this up here. Maybe a brush seal could be added to it. That's something that you could add yourself if you wanted to. Just a little, peel and stick brush seal to try to minimize the light leakage from the top. But all in all, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. I will say between all of the extrusions, purchasing the acrylic to try to build something like this, you're going to spend more money trying to build this than what they're asking for it. I know the price tag, currently it sits at about $700 for this enclosure, but considering all of the parts that you get as far as, and it's already put together, it's already the right size, I think you'd be hard pressed to really do a lot better. If you built something with this much window space, you could probably build it for $400 with small windows and mostly out of wood. But if you wanted to go with something like this with acrylic and extrusions, it's going to be a little more costly. Not to mention your time designing, drilling, tapping. I mean, it's a pretty good deal as far as the build goes, and the assembly wasn't terrible. Some of the illustrations, the illustrations worked really well, but some of the illustrations, it's a little hard to tell what part is what. Maybe we could add some number stickers or something, or just a little bit bigger illustration. Now, one thing I will tell you when you put it together, decide beforehand where you want the exhaust. The exhaust panel, technically, the exhaust panel is supposed to be on the right according to the instructions, just like I have it constructed. But there is the fact that this is what I guess you would say makes it the front, is these panels here. And these are reversible. So when you're laying it out and you're putting it together, decide which side you want your exhaust port on and move this accordingly when you're putting it together. Put this one on this end or this end. That's going to rotate your exhaust port from either the right side or the left. So a little something that I realized it was too late, but luckily I had it the way I wanted it. So a little tip for you if you get the thing and you're putting it together. But all in all, guys, I think it works for its intended purpose. I think it's economically feasible because this is a lot of laser safe glass. These top panels especially. So I think all in all, with the view, being able to view into it, the looks of it, it's definitely economical considering. So there you have it, guys. Atomstack B4 enclosure for really big lasers, and I will be dropping links down below. Those are affiliate links. If you want to use those, and let Atomstack know that I sent you. So that's it for today, guys. Until next time, be safe and have a good day.